political leader and Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, executive members of the People's National Movement, cabinet ministers and MPs, PNM family who are present with us and those who are viewing and listening to us. Special welcome to our local government election 2023 candidates. Candidates, if you're here, stand and wave. I know we have some in the crowd. Forgive me, I have to shout out the candidates of the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation. It is a pleasure to be here with you tonight. I want to share a personal fact with you, a family fact. Today is my daddy's birthday. So to my daddy who is watching us, he's not here but he's watching us, I want to wish Glenn Gadsby a very happy birthday. And I want to wish Councillor Hartley, soon to be councillor again, a happy birthday in advance. Happy birthday from the PNM. And to understand how special this is for me, my father is a COVID survivor. Spent quite a number of days in the hospital. In 2022, we thought we would lose him. So this is a special birthday for us. And I was thinking about his birthday, and I thought about other birthdays and anniversaries that are special to us as a nation. So this weekend, Trinidad and Tobago would be the proud host of the region as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of CARICOM. Let's give that a round of applause. And shortly after that, on August 31st, we will celebrate the birth date of our own nation, 61 years old this year. And I thought to myself, how young we are as a nation, but how much steps we have made towards maturity and development. We are young, you know, but we feel we're big. We often compare ourselves to much older countries, like the UK. You know how old the UK is? The UK is about 222 years old. And that's just the UK, because England and Scotland and Ireland separately are much older than that. And the US, do you know how old the US is? We love to compare ourselves. The US is about 247 years old. So we are 61 years young, but we are making our own strides as a country and a society, and we are finding ourselves. And we are making changes in our laws and our practices as we become the nation that we aspire to be. Do you know our national motto? Together we aspire, together we achieve. And as our nation ages and matures, there will be upheavals. And these upheavals lead to societal changes. So these things are not bad things. These are good things, because it shows that we are thinking and we are maturing and we are growing up. So we are experiencing upheavals right now in local government and in the education sector. Anybody can tell me what's the current issue causing the upheaval in the education sector for this week? Yep. School hairstyles, school hair codes. Now, I've seen some comments. I'm looking at the comments all over. I'm listening to the radio. I'm looking at social media. And a few persons have suggested that this issue is not worthy of national conversation. What do you think? You see, some people are saying that there are weightier issues that we should be discussing now. Now, I don't disagree with that, but that was my 2022 position. You see, from my own experience, in 2022, that's when our children were going back to school physically. Remember those days? They were going back to school physically. And just like a lot of the young men, my own son grew out his hair. 2 years of no barber. So you know what happened when he went back to school? He wanted to keep his hair. And guess what? The school he was going to wasn't having it. And I asked him to make his own choice. And I chose not to raise that issue at that time. Why? because we had other things on the plate. We had to get our children back to school physically. We had to get back into that routine. We had to deal with learning loss from COVID. And so we had to look at the remedial education program that we started last year. Those were the weighty issues on the table. The digital transformation of the Ministry of Education, that's what we were focusing on at that time. So in 2022, I agree with you that there were very, very weighty and pressing issues that we had to deal with. But this is 2023, and the time has come for that conversation to take place. I want us to understand, this is not just about a hairstyle, you know. It's deeper than a hairstyle. It's about our burgeoning identity as a nation. We are 61 years young, but we are maturing as a society. We are getting older. We are questioning the norms that we hold as a society, and that is the maturing process. We are doing what we're supposed to do. We are questioning the rules, and we are looking at our nation and our ability to make our rules for ourselves. And nothing is wrong with that. And that's why this conversation is much deeper than just a hairstyle. It forces us to reflect on the fact that in many areas, the time has come for reform. The time has come for reform. So a date has been set next week for a discussion with the stakeholders on this issue, because I understand, as a member of the PNM who built this country, and we are a living, breathing, dynamic society, and yes, Trinidad is a real place, young as we may be, we are maturing, and with maturity comes the need for reform. As we mature in those areas and others, one thing that needs to change is our apparent indifference to local government elections. And I'm saying this just based on the low voter turnout that we usually have at local government elections. I've been an MP for 8 years, young in the business. But young as I am in the business, I know that we need local government reform. I have a very open phone number. I'm sure half, if not all of this crowd has messaged me already on WhatsApp and gotten a response from me. And I can tell you that constituents reach out to me on a daily basis, many, many of them. And almost all of the issues they speak to me about are local government issues. You see, there's a saying in the political arena, all politics is local. You all know that saying? All politics is local. And as MP, we deal with our constituents and try to direct them to the understanding of where their councillor can help them. We try to direct them to the fact that your councillor is physically closer to you. Your councillor has a smaller area to deal with because the matters they deal with are more intimate, and they affect your quality of life a lot more than the other matters that you may think about. So to us, as members of Parliament, we understand that local government elections are just as important as general elections. And as a matter of fact, in some cases, it could be even more important to some people. Local government at that level is where you get intimate development. And so we, as MPs, understand why this reform is so critical and so important. That is why I have difficulty understanding the position of the UNC on this matter. I have difficulty because we all know there's no UNC MP that can tell me they are satisfied with the way local government operates. There's no UNC councillor that can tell me they are satisfied with the way local government operates now. You heard the councillor speak, the councillor for this area speak about his difficulties in delivering what they want to the burgesses of his area. So if you're not satisfied with what is going on now, then there must be a change. There must be a reform, because what is the definition of madness? What's the definition of madness? Doing the same thing and expecting different results. So it's not just about the election, it's about what happens after the election and the ability of your councillor to service your needs in your community. And that's why this reform is so important. I want to send a message to the opposition. Not because you are the opposition, you have to oppose for opposing sake. That is all politics. That is weak politics. And that and all need a reform. We don't want that anymore. We want strong politics. We want politics based on strong policy. Dr. Eric Williams devoted his life to ensuring that our nation was educated. Why? Because democracy demands informed decisions. And if you don't inform and educate yourself, how could you make decisions that make sense for the development of the country? I want to make a call to all of the young members of the UNC. I want to say to you, take a stand to change the politics of opposition for opposition's sake. Support your country over your party. Our Prime Minister said the PNM is open for business. So those of you who are in the belly of the UNC and you know that the party is not doing the right thing, you know it in your spirit, you know it in your gut. If you're in the UNC and you know that you're in the wrong party, come home to the PNM, the party that can embrace you with our love. You know what the good book says? Come out of her, my people. So if you know you're in the UNC, and you know that it's the wrong party, come out. You have examples now of people who have made the right choice to come over to the People's National Movement because they know that this is the party that supports the development of Trinidad and Tobago. With school about to close, we're going to enter the season of school repair. And we're going to soon get to the point where everyone is asking, are all the schools ready to open on the first day of school? You know the media like to ask that question. So local government reform for the education sector means that along with the allocation we have, we can also depend on the municipal corporations to assist us with emergency repairs on our schools. Why is that important? When schools are impacted with infrastructural repairs, sometimes they have to close. And when they close, it means that teaching and learning time is impacted. Children are home. Any of you experience that? Children are left at home. And when they are at home, they don't get the benefit of the teaching and learning. So if we can depend on municipal corporations to assist us to take care of our schools, it means that our schools can have less downtime for infrastructural issues. And that's a part of the reform, giving the municipal corporation the leverage to come in and assist with the schools in that region. So that assists the Ministry of Education, who can now use our allocation for some of the meatier things. And so we get that help, we get that partnership, and that can only bode well for our children. So that is how the local government reform is affecting education and coming down to the classroom and coming into your homes, because it means that your children have a better potential for success. So when I say that I support local government reform, it is not just because I'm a member of the PNM. It is because I'm a responsible citizen that understands that this is the way our country will mature, develop, and grow. We will not grow without change. So I am encouraged when I hear my fellow citizens, as I've heard them for the last 2 days, engaged on these issues. I'm encouraged when I hear that. And I say to everyone in this country, if hairstyles in school is so critical and fundamental that it can absorb our attention for 2 days and counting, tell me, isn't local government reform even more important than that? So shouldn't our conversation, in the same way that we are engaged in this conversation about the hair codes, an important conversation about our identity, shouldn't we be speaking in that same excited way about local government reform and how it's going to affect the quality of our lives? I want to call on the media to engage in discussion. Speak about the deep issues. Don't just speak about things on the surface. Speak about the things that matter to the lives of our citizens. Educate our citizens, because an educated citizenry is a better democracy. An educated citizenry can make better decisions for the development of the nation. A vote for local government reform is a vote in the positive direction for our citizens and for our nation. So I want to encourage everyone, come out and vote on August 14th. Don't be involved in voter apathy, where we ain't care what happened. This is important to all of us. This is a win-win-win situation for all of us. So I want to encourage you. Local government reform is before us. You have a choice. Vote for the PNM and local government reform, or vote otherwise and give yourself no chance to improve the quality of your life. A vote for the PNM is a vote for reform. A vote for reform is a vote for social maturity. A vote for reform is about standing up for the changes that you know our society needs. And I know we can stand up. I'm seeing it here in this discussion about the school hair code. Engage in discussions. Speak in your circles. Speak in your WhatsApp group. Speak on the radio, those of you who call in. Speak to this issue about local government reform. Drive the discussion, and then don't just speak about it, act on it. Come out on August the 14th and cast your vote solidly for the People's National Movement, the party that has built this country, the party that always brings policy that will allow this country to develop and to be a nation that we can all be proud of. If you are not satisfied with the way local government operates now, you have no choice as a responsible citizen but to come out and to cast your vote for the People's National Movement. Vote for reform. Make that right choice. And once you have made that choice, on August the 14th, we will all be able to say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. I hear with